Hey guys, and welcome back to Ladies Library. Today I will be finishing up my March wrap-up. This will include a couple books that I technically finished in April, but I did start them in March. So since April has such a large TBR, I'm just going to go ahead and lump them in with the second half of March because they are finished at the time that I'm filming this. I did finish reading Cataclysm, part of Viridian Gates Online by J.A. Hunter. And in Cataclysm, the world is about to come to an end because a giant meteor is about to strike the Earth. But there is a company that has developed a VR system where they can actually download your consciousness to their virtual reality servers, and the servers are in protected bunkers so that you can continue on after the end of the world. Now, only certain people are able to get a hold of the units required to make this jump because clearly your body has to be kept alive long enough for your consciousness to upload, which is about 3 days. So once your consciousness is uploaded, you are a permanent fixture in Viridian Gate Online. I really enjoyed the concept of this book in that just sort of the way the characters interacted with the game system. It did not ever treat it like it was a new reality. It's very much these are quests, and he interfaces with his inventory, and I just really loved that aspect of it and sort of visualizing that sort of World of Warcraft world, but physically. So it's really well done, very interesting. Ultimately, I think I gave it like a 3.5 star, which is just because I'm being more picky about my star ratings lately, really, if I'm being honest. I do want to get a hold of the rest of the series. Probably not going to make a huge effort about it just because I have so much going on. But this is a book that I acquired at DragonCon. And hopefully whenever there is a DragonCon again, the author will go back and I'll be able to get one from the author and sort of collect this series as an annual part of my DragonCon trip. Also on my TBR tower was Nocturne. I have intentionally DNF'd this for now. The book starts off with a brother who is getting back from an absence after his other brother might have died in front of him. And it was really just a lot of info dump about the world and what happened, and in very much an expository way versus me feeling like I'm experiencing it with the characters. Is a lot of like flashbacks of, oh yeah, by the way, this is what happened. And I just really was not in the mood to read that. It's not my particular favorite to begin with, but I really didn't want to get into a slump, so I decided to put this off for another couple months and give it another go when I'm in a better headspace for it. It does seem like the type of fantasy world that I really enjoy and the type of storyline that I really enjoy. I just wasn't prepared for it this month. I also did finish A Court of Silver Flames, which I'll put right here because I forgot it downstairs. So Court of Silver Flames is a 4.5 stars for me. It is the latest book in Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I love that series. I read the entire thing last year. I don't regret it. My emotions were destroyed for a little bit, but it's fine. I survived. Sarah J. Maas definitely has a way of making you really care about the characters. And going into this book, I had some serious doubts because one of the main characters featured is a character from the original trilogy that I hated. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to believe that this girl deserves love. And I still don't love her, but I don't despise her anymore. So there's that. I was really impressed with how Sarah J. Maas was able to get me to quit hating her. If you are not familiar with A Court of Thorns and Roses, it begins with the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where Feyre accidentally kills a Fae when she's hunting and gets taken across to Fae lands to basically a life for a life, and is taken to the home of Tamlin, who is cursed, and she has to try to break his curse, but she doesn't really know what's going on because he's just sort of locked her up, and, you know, Beauty and the Beast stuff. The series does sort of spiral away from the Beauty and the Beast story, and I really enjoy how that has happened. So if you have not read it, definitely give it a shot. If you're not a huge fan of the first book and the tropes that are in it, just keep going to the second book and then you'll love it. Like if you like the stuff that you see on my channel, then you'll probably like that too. So up next, we are going to go through my audiobooks that I listen to, and you will not see audiobooks show up on my TBR because my TBR is about finishing my giant stack of owned physical books. But I do listen to audiobooks quite a lot. So, and these are all separate titles that I do not own physically. So first up is Timekeeper by Tara Sim. I also read Chainbreaker by Tara Sim, which is the sequel to Timekeeper. So I'm just going to sort of review them together. I think I would put both of them right around a 4-star. In the world of the Timekeeper, we are in sort of Victorian London mainly, but we do sort of travel around a little bit. And in this version of the world, the control of time is not a thing that just happens like it does in our world. It is actually controlled by clock towers, and these clock towers are maintained by clock mechanics who have special gifts to be able to touch the energies of time in order to make sure they're flowing through the clock towers correctly. Now, there is a rumor that there are spirits within some, if not all, of the towers, and no one really knows what those spirits' jobs are or how they came to be in the tower, or if they're even real to begin with. So we followed a boy named Danny, who is a brand new clock mechanic. Well, not brand new. He's been around for a little bit, but he is the youngest clock mechanic ever to become a fully fledged mechanic. And part of what spurred him on is that 3 years ago, the time in the town that his father was in, repairing a clock, stopped. So his father was not dead, but trapped in a time freeze. And this follows Danny as he comes into his own as a clock mechanic and tries to figure out what happened. There are also clock towers exploding around England, which means more and more cities are being stopped. I've really enjoyed this series. It is an excellent LGBT rep series. So if that is something that you're into or looking for, definitely check it out. The last book that I read is Calculated Risks by Shauna McGuire. It is the latest book in the Encrypted series. And the Encrypted series is our world, but all of the cryptids, all of the things that go bump in the night exist and then some. There are humans who know about this, and some of them hunt the cryptids, and some of them protect them. We mainly follow a family that is dedicated to protecting the cryptids. This is the 10th-ish, somewhere way along in this series, so anything I say about it is basically a spoiler. But it is a really fun series. I've given almost every single book in this series somewhere between 4 to 5 stars. And if you like the idea of renting out or subletting an apartment from a Bigfoot, definitely give it a shot. So that is everything that I have read for the month of March and everything that rolled over into April. So keep an eye out for my April wrap-up or wrap-ups. It's going to be a lot for the rest. And until next time, happy reading!